Today we're making something special and meaningful. Poppy biscuits for Remembrance Day. Not only are these biscuits delicious, they're a great way to honour those that served and have a bit of fun in the kitchen in the process. Do you want to make your own? Come on, let's get started. Okay guys, hands washed, aprons on, brilliant. So what exactly are we making today? We're going to create some buttery, crisp biscuits that we'll then decorate with a vibrant red icing in the shape of a poppy and a chocolate button in the center. These poppy biscuits are going to be fantastic to share with friends and family. They're a wonderful tribute to Remembrance Day. So let's get into it. First, let's look at our kit. You might need some scales or cup measurers, mixing bowls, wooden spoon or spatula, a whisk. I'm actually going to use an electric whisk today. Cookie cutters or a thin rimmed glass, baking tray with parchment paper, a cooling rack, teaspoon measurer, a rolling pin, and a piping bag. So quite a few tools there for this one today, but now let's look at our ingredients. Now you don't need much for this one. 200 grams of unsalted, softened butter. The top tip is for it to be at room temperature. 100 grams of caster sugar and 300 grams of plain flour, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That is actually a 3-to-1 ratio for our biscuits. That's a classic short crust biscuit. And now for the icing, 250 grams of icing sugar, 1 egg white, half a teaspoon of lemon juice, red food colouring, and dark chocolate buttons. Right, we're going to start with our dough, so we don't need these things just yet. So first we want to cream the butter and the sugar together. We could do that with a wooden spoon or even a spatula, but actually I find the quickest and easiest is to use an electric whisk. So I'm going to cheat on this one. Sugar and butter in there together. And then here we go. The trick with this is for the butter to be at room temperature. It makes it so much easier. Okay, there it is. So it's pale and smooth, and that's what we're after. This is what's going to make our biscuits buttery and delicious. Okay, once your butter and sugar are nice and creamy, we'll put in that vanilla, so just a little dash like that, and then a little mix, and then in goes the flour. Just want to gently fold that together until you have a dough. Might look a bit clumpy at first, but don't worry, it'll come together. Great, there we've got our dough. Now let's just bring it together into a bit of a disc like that, and then we'll rest it in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Okay, our dough is rested. We're going to roll it out in just a second. Let's just turn the oven on so it preheats while we're rolling the dough out. So it needs to be about 180, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Now, first thing to do is to dust the surface with a bit of flour. So that will prevent the dough from sticking to the surface. Then we want a bit more flour on the top. And then grab your rolling pin. Put some flour on that too. First thing you want to do is give it a little bit of a knead to loosen it up. Okay. Bit more flour on that surface. Just keep it loose on the worktop like that with plenty of flour underneath. If it starts to stick, just lift one side and put a bit more flour underneath it. Also that's our oven. Also keep some flour on the rolling pin. Now we're looking for about 1/2 centimetre thick, so it's not very much. I think we're there. Okay, now we're going to start cutting out our cookies. Let's get our cookie cutter. I've got 2 here, one round one and one with the dippled edge. It's up to you which one you want to use. We could try some of both. You can probably get poppy shaped cookie cutters. I couldn't find one, so I thought maybe we'll just decorate in the poppy shape, but we could try cutting some after we've cut them round to make them look more poppy. Let's have a go. And just pull away the bits around. We'll use those in a second. So, if you want to try doing poppy shapes, I think if we look at my poppy here, it's sort of got one side that's slightly bigger than the other, doesn't it? So if we take out like that and like that, there. That's sort of poppy shaped, isn't it? Let's do a few of those. That's pretty good. Okay, let's get these onto our baking tray. You might need a spatula for this. We've got some leftover dough here, so I'll make a few more with that. You need to leave a bit of space between them so they don't stick together. This type of biscuit shouldn't spread too much. Okay, into the oven, and that'll be for about 10 to 12 minutes. We've got to keep an eagle eye. While those are baking, let's have a quick tidy up. It's always good to keep things clean and tidy while you work. Okay, the bell's just gone. Better have a look at these cookies. Very careful when you open the door. You might want a grown-up to help you with this part. Oh yes, look at that. They're just turning colour on the edges. That's when you know they're perfect. So what we need to do now is let these cool. We'll give them 5 minutes on the tray and then we'll transfer them to the cooling rack because they need to be cooled completely before we can decorate them. Okay, be really careful. It's still hot. So carefully just take one at a time and place them on the cooling rack. Okay, we'll leave these to cool down completely, but while that's happening, we can crack on with our icing. All right guys, now for the icing. So this is actually super easy. We're gonna make some royal icing, which is icing sugar, egg white, and a little bit of lemon juice. That's it. So first thing is to get our egg white. Now you want to be careful with the egg white that when you're breaking the egg, you don't get any yolk into the white like that. So you can carefully do that. Now you might want to practice this or ask your mum and dad to help you. I'll pop that yolk there. Ooh, it's a bit of red. I think that's a bit of red food coloring I got in there. So then mix that a little bit. And then we're going to put a little bit of lemon juice as well. And while we're at it, I'm going to put a bit of lemon juice in my food coloring here. This is powdered food coloring. But you might want to use gel food coloring. That works quite well as well. You can buy all sorts of different types of food coloring. This one is good because it's super, super red, which is going to be helpful for what we want today. So, okay. Just give you a little bit of a whisk up. And it doesn't need to be super whisked, just a little bit frothy like that. Then slowly start adding the sugar. I think we want some more. Ooh, starting to get there. That's the kind of the consistency that we're after. Maybe a little bit more. So we had 250 grams here of icing sugar for 1 egg white. Now, will depend slightly on the size of your egg. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's put some colour in here. A little will go a long way. Ooh, look at that change colour. I'm going to get this out and use a spatula. I think we can go a bit redder. Okay, there we go. We've got a nice, vibrant red icing. It's loosened up a little bit since I put that colouring in. So I'm going to put in the rest of this icing sugar. There's not much left. There we go. Great. Now we've got to put this into a piping bag. Now, if you don't have a piping bag, you could just use a sandwich bag with a little hole, very small hole, poked in the corner. But this is the best way to fill a piping bag, is if you fold over the edge and hold it in your hand like that. And then you want to squeeze it down to the ends. Try and not get too many air bubbles in there. Twist it up and gently squeeze. Now, if you do have any icing left in your bowl, that will harden quite quickly. So put some cling film on it and pop it in the fridge. Okay guys, so our cookies have completely cooled. Now is the fun part, we get to decorate them. I've even put a little poppy here so that we can know what we're doing. Right, so get your little bag, hold it in your hand like that, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna start by going round the edge in the shape that you want that petal to be in. And then the other side. Like that. And then we're going to fill in the center. Don't worry if it's not perfect, we're going to smooth it over. So grab a little knife and then carefully spread it out and smooth over the top. There we go, that's more or less right, isn't it? Now if we put one of these chocolate buttons in the middle, and if you want to be extra fancy, you could get some actual poppy seeds and pop them around the button. And there you have it. I'm on the last cookie here, and I've just realized I haven't shown you a really useful piping technique. So you've got your bag here, and you want the icing all the way down and leave a bit of a gap at the top. Don't overfill the bag. Then you twist it up, and that helps to drive it down. If you hold it between these two fingers, and then the bag goes into the palm of your hand like that, so that you can squeeze with the other fingers, but you're still holding the top so it doesn't escape. And then that gives you really good control over where it goes. So we'll do one petal. And look, I'm turning the biscuit as I go. It makes it a little bit easier maybe. And then two, bit of a wobbly line on that one. Oh well, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be perfect. Each one is unique, just like real poppies. Did you know that poppies became a symbol after World War I, inspired by the famous poem In Flanders Field? And people wear poppies to honour those that have served. And so by making these poppy biscuits, we too are doing our little tribute. Maybe you could sell these biscuits and donate the money to the Poppy Appeal. You could even join the Poppy Appeal on one of their stands. You know, maybe they would have you. And when they sell poppies, you could sell a poppy biscuit with it. So, final button on, little sprinkling. And there you have it, guys. Beautiful poppy biscuits honouring Remembrance Day. Oh, I'm gonna taste one. So good. They're delicious, buttery, flaky, and full of meaning. Oh, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy making yours. Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. And oh, I'd love to see your creations if you want to share them in the comments. That'd be brilliant. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Next week, we're doing shifting gears, going to America for Thanksgiving. Well, I'm not actually going to America, but I'm making Thanksgiving pumpkin pie, an American classic. All right, see you there, guys. See you there, guys.